What's going on, good people? It's Nguvu for my Run and Gun firearms training, and I'm going over my most recent USPSA match. This was the first match since the rule change that I actually ran everything from concealment. So I did all my reloads and draws by having to clear my cover garment first, which I think I was the only one at the match that did that because, of course, it is much slower than just using competition gear, but it was fun. So this is stage one. This one is just 3 per target. In the beginning, I'm going to clear my cover garment, draw, run to the corner, and then shoot all 3 working left to right. I'm just going to play the stage and then go over what I liked and then what I absolutely did not like.
Are you ready? Bye.
All right, so there's my scores. 25 alphas, 2 charlies. So if you're not familiar, alphas are the centermost part of the target, and charlies are the next scoring zone outside of that. Outside of the charlie zone will be deltas or Ds. So alphas are 5 points, charlies are 3 points for minor power factor anyway. Deltas are 1 point, and then if you miss, it's a mic, which is negative 10 points. So on this one, I did well to clear my cover garment and get my gun out smoothly just so I could start shooting by the time I got to that far left target. But if you notice the time in between my transitions, which is the time in between where I fired the last shot on one target and the first shot on the next, that dead time in between targets is way too long. If you can listen to the long pause, 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 pause. So that is way too long. So I need to speed that up because every time I do that, I'm losing 1/10 of a second or if not more on the clock. And that adds up really fast, especially on a short stage like this. The second thing is on this last target, I start to get my momentum moving to the right, this one right here. So I start moving as I'm engaging that one, which is good, but it just took me way too long to get the reload done. And I wasn't running. So if you notice how I'm moving, I'm just tiptoeing. I don't know what the fuck that is. Like I'm a cat burglar, and I'm not trying to make any noise so I don't wake anybody up. So that's unacceptable. I need to be sprinting to the other side of the stage while I'm bagging that reload. And even then, with me moving that slowly, I still didn't have my reload done by the time I got there. It took like 20 steps. So that's plenty of time for me to get the reload done, mag out, mag in. And I should have been shooting by the time I got here. Gun should be up, and I should be shooting. Other thing I noticed on this first target here, I took 4 shots. So one of those shots was a makeup. I didn't like the sight picture. It's one of the things with using a dot is that you really can call your shots a lot easier. It shows a lot more movement in the gun. So if you snatch one, it's really going to show if you're shooting a pistol with a dot on it. So it does show with your iron sights if you're reading, but the dot is just a lot easier to read. So there was one shot I didn't like. I sent another one immediately and then proceeded to shoot the other 3 targets. It just took me a little too long in between. This is stage 4 here, my hits. So I had 14 alphas, 5 charlies, 4 deltas, and a mic. So on this one, because the stage before my transitions were just way too slow, I decided to push it a little bit and I got a little erratic. So there's a few things that happened on this one. So I'm just going to let this one play.
Stand by.
All right, so there's a lot going on this one. So this one, the starting position is wrist above shoulders. Once I get the beep, I'm going to clear my cover garment and begin shooting. There are 4 targets in the beginning that I need to shoot before I can really run to that far right corner. So I'm going to take the one on the far right. You can't see the targets. The one on the far right, my cameraman decided to record from the side, but the far right. Then I'm going to take out of the middle 2, the one on the right, the one in the middle that's on the left, and the one on the far left as I'm moving to my right. So once I get the first target, I can begin moving. So I'm not mad at this, just shooting while I'm gaining ground, aggressive to the corner. But that is where I got a little erratic in here. So I tried to rush my transitions and I was a little bit tense. I do like the way I'm actually running. So this time I wasn't tiptoeing through the night. I was actually sprinting across the stage, which is great. But I should have been DQ'd. So as I turned my gun for a right to left reload for a right-hander, it's really easy for you to break the 180. And I actually broke it slightly over here. So the only thing that saved me is to watch the guy that's in frame. See his vision? He's looking down at the fault lines, kind of trying to pay attention to where he's going so he doesn't trip. And because of that, he's not really watching my gun. And I think because he's slightly behind me, he can't completely see it. So I should have been DQ'd, but luckily I wasn't. You can hear the guy in the back say, woo. And I think that's because he saw me break the 180. But either way, I do like the way I entered this position. As soon as I got in, I got my gun up and began shooting before I came to a stop, which I'm good with. That last target there, that last shot was not necessary. I thought I had a mic. I saw my dot yank left, and I didn't like it, so I had already left the target. So I knew I needed to go back and make that up. Unfortunately, that shot that I thought went off the target was actually a Charlie, and I went back and made it up with a Charlie, which didn't change my score. It actually made it worse because I added time but didn't gain any more points. The other thing from this stage that I would say is here I'm running. So I drop my mag, clear my cover garment, magazine in, and I begin to shoot. What I should have been doing, since this is such a long run, I should have prioritized the run and not the reload. So as I drop my mag, I should have dropped my mag, clear my cover garment, grab my fresh mag, and from here, I should have just been running. And then once I got here, I should have started to insert the gun or insert the magazine into the gun, came in under control, and then started shooting. That would allow me to run faster, and it would save me a little bit of time. Other than that, it wasn't too bad. The major thing was, one, I should have got DQ'd, and then just being a little erratic in that second array. All right, so this is technically stage 6, I think. So at 21 Alpha 7 Cs, I'll let this one play. Man, it's hard to watch. All right. So this stage, I don't know what happened, to be honest with you. I think I must not have gone over my stage plan well enough, because there's some things in here that I did that were absolutely not in my stage plan. Stage plan was to grab these 2 targets on the left, because that's pretty much the only time that you'd be able to see them. As soon as you move forward, you can't see them. So almost everybody shot those 2 first and then came back right, which I'm fine with. Here, see that target that's right over my right shoulder behind that barrel stack? That target was available. I should have been shooting that target as I came into position. That would allow me to shoot my way in, and then I could have taken this target and bailed out. Instead, I shot, which is my stage plan, it was just a flaw. I shot the target on the far back right-hand corner first, and then moved to that target. You see, I'm not moving. I'm just standing still shooting, which is bad. I should have rounded this out and been shooting. If I was going to shoot this order, I should have kept moving, shot that one while I kind of rounded that corner, and then moved forward while I shot that target there instead of standing there. After this, my stage plan was to reload as I ran forward. As you can see, I'm all the way there before I even think about reloading. Now I'm like, oh shit, I got to reload, drop my mag, clear my cover garment, and grab my magazine. The problem is I didn't get the reload done in time, so I could have been shooting a lot sooner. So that also cost me some time. So not moving in the beginning and then not reloading when I was supposed to. The last thing is here in this port. During my stage plan, I was setting up really wide. I had a stance where I could see all the targets in the middle and just kind of shift my weight, and I could shoot them all through the port without having to move my feet. So as you see my left foot move. It keeps inching around. Yeah, that's not efficient at all. So I'm sliding around instead of just shooting all the targets without moving my feet. So again, that was a mistake, something I need to clean up. It wasn't in my stage plan, but that just means I didn't drill my stage plan well enough. So that's a kind of a rookie mistake there. Here, this one is 3 targets. It's just standing in a box. I don't know if this is an old classifier or not. It wasn't a classifier for the stage, but it has the old classifier feel. So buzzer, draw, 2 per. There's 3 targets. You shoot the first 3, freestyle, reload, and then shoot those same 3 targets each twice, weak hand only. So I let this one play.
Are you ready? Stand by.
All right, so that was pretty bad. So I'm already kind of behind the 8 ball as far as time is concerned, especially on these short stages, because I'm coming from concealment and I can't mash the draw in movement. So normally you would move while running to a position, so the draw isn't too bad. But I'm just standing flat-footed because we're just in the box. So that actually didn't go too bad. But my problem came 2, 4, 6, bang, my reload, which wasn't that bad. But here I lost the dot. So just not doing enough dry fire with my weak hand only. You can see the gun. I'm going to be moving it around the circle trying to find where the fucking dot is. And then what makes matters worse, I actually do have backup irons on this gun. So instead of searching for the fucking dot, I should have just locked onto my irons and started shooting, but I didn't. I kind of forgot they were on there. I put them on there fairly recently, so since I don't use them, I didn't think about it. So that cost me a ton of time. My hits were fine, but time really killed me. This one is an actual class fire, and it's kind of similar to the other one. So this one is, you have 3 pieces of paper and 2 pieces of steel. You can either shoot the steel first, mandatory reload, and then shoot the paper, or shoot the paper first, mandatory reload, and then shoot the steel. Again, coming from concealment, it cost me some time, but I still managed to shoot a B, even with losing some time. So I chose to shoot the paper from right to left, and then reload and shoot the steel. All right, so that wasn't too bad. My transitions are still a little slow, and then if you notice my splits of the time in between shots, my splits on the second target are pretty much identical as the third target, and the third target's a little harder and has hard cover. Probably should have been a little more aggressive on that middle target, as well as the first target since it's so close. So that would have saved me a little bit of time. And then what really killed me, also, see, I had a makeup shot. So I shot 3 shots at the 2 pieces of steel there because I missed the second one. Overall, not horrible. Then again, I shot a B, which the goal is to make A from concealment. So I got my work cut out for me. I think I like torture or something. All right, so this is the last stage, but this was actually the first stage that we shot today, or that day. Hot day, sweaty hands, and I didn't bring my pro grip, which is basically like chalk to help you grip the gun when your hands are sweaty. Didn't bring my pro grip, and the other stages other than this one, what I was doing was just grabbing a handful of dirt and just rubbing it on my hands, and that worked fine. Here, as soon as I drew, hands are sweaty. I just couldn't grip the gun. The gun kept moving around in my hand the whole time, and I missed the steel. It's a Texas Star, so that's really the worst combination. So I missed the damn star, I think, the first 3 shots, and it wasn't even moving, which is horrible. So I missed those shots, and then I missed a few more trying to finish it off. My hits were okay, but the time is what really killed me on this stage.
Bye.
Once again, my cameraman's not showing the target. I don't know what he's doing. You know who you are. So see, I'm missing like shit. I finally get rid of that. I have to adjust my stage plan because my reload has to come now because I'm not sure how many rounds I have left in the gun. But at least I know once I reload once, I have enough to finish the entire stage. So the goal was really to shoot the star and then reload coming out here, bang those 2. And then during this time, while I'm reloaded, I really wanted to be shooting my way into position. So that barrel stack, that straight ahead, the white and blue stack, those 2 targets to the left of it, I wanted to be shooting that while I was advancing, shoot that target to its left, and then start to bail again, and then shoot the target right here to the far left as I was backing up. But I couldn't do that because I had to reload. And then here, I didn't do a good job because here I should have been shooting a lot earlier. Just shooting my way in a lot earlier on those targets, which would have saved me some more time. But either way, if there's anything that I missed, I definitely don't know everything. Let me know. That's one of the reasons why I'm posting this, just to get the feedback. Let me know what you think, what you saw. And I appreciate any feedback that you might have. Y'all be safe.